Yes, at Benny Frank's we're cooking gumbo, and I've been cooking it for probably 15 years now. And when it came time to put the recipe down, I was like, and I wrote down the recipe, and I was like, does that sound right? And no, because and then I told my chef de cuisine, I was like, I had to stop cooking like a grandma and start cooking like a chef. I said, because I've been cooking this so long that I never needed a recipe. But it's a restaurant, and so I need to put the recipe down so my cooks can replicate it. And so at that point, I had to step back and actually watch what I was doing, because it came so naturally to me. Again, it was my zen. I didn't have to think about it. It just happened, and after 2-3 hours, boom, there you go. And the reason for international was because I didn't want to do just, one specific cuisine. And because, as I said earlier, growing up, I was eating Chinese, Japanese, Middle Eastern, Spanish cuisine. So I'm eating all these different cuisines, and it's all in El Paso, which is an international border. And it's an international border, and so I was like, well, this is an international kitchen, because there is so much different culture here that qualifies the food to be just something really different. And then it's evolved from there. My mom has had a few that are in there. And now that I hired Mateo, the new menu is going to have a lot more of his influence in there. But at the beginning, I'd say it was 90% mine. I think right now it's probably 70% mine. And then after next week, when we start to unveil the new menu, Mateo's stuff has my blessing, because his philosophy and my philosophy are very similar. So,
can you share your philosophy and Mateo's philosophy about food?
Well, it's about drawing from the area. All our ideas, we don't have to go very far. At the beginning, when you start cooking, of course you want to go to all these different places to bring, flavors and things like that, and that's still fun to do. But I think that whatever you can gather, within a few miles of here, I think is just more local. So it's more about the local flavor, the terroir, if you will, of what we have to offer in the region. And so we both feel strongly about local ingredients, local sources, local producers. From an economic standpoint, it's a win-win. You keep the money in the community, and it's still hard to do right now, but it's easier now than it was 11 years ago. And so it's getting there. La Cosecha was a dinner that came about the relationship we have with one of our local farmers. They own La Capilla, is the name of the farm. And we get chiles from them, we get tomatoes, we get, whatever they have in season, we try and use on the menu. And a conversation that I had with the owner's son, and we said, it'd be really neat to have a dinner out on the farm where people can see where the food that's on their plate is coming from. And so the idea stemmed from that. So the dinner ended up being 8 courses of all food that was locally, all locally harvested, um, and we did cooking methods that were ancient. We cooked lamb 2 ways. One of them was we covered it in clay. The clay came from, the Rio Grande. Mateo went and scooped up, clay from the side, and we made the mud, and we covered the leg in achiote, from the from the cactus, and then we covered it in the clay, and we put it in the wood-fired oven overnight, basically, and it cooked in there. And when we served it, it looked like a big clump of clay, but once we cracked it, the vapor came out, and the flavor started to you could smell it, and then we just crack open, and everybody at the table was like, wow. Corn, Mateo did atole. There was a corn vinegar dressing for the salad. We did a sprouted corn with lamb that tasted like a combination of Vietnamese pho and Mexican pozole. It was amazing. We did a sope. So we did corn in about 5 different ways. There was a corn crema that we did on a smoked trout. And so of the 8 courses, 5 of them had corn, but you could not tell which was which because they were all so different, and the corn is so humble, but it can be made into so many things and used in so many ways. It's an amazing, it's an amazing crop, and really it turned out to be an ode to corn that day, for sure. And we held it out at the farm. We picked the date, so we would have a full moon or close to a full moon, and we got out there as the sun was setting over the Camino Real, because their farm sits in front, north of what used to be the original Camino Real, and so you saw the sun set over that, and then the full moon over the mountains, and that was all part of the experience that we wanted people to see, and it was just an amazing event. Not only the food, but the ambiance and the way people reacted to those stories, because I think that's the thing that makes a food great, when you know the story behind it, the process, and when you respect it, that makes it better. When we first started in 2008, I wanted to get people into seasonality. We failed miserably at it, because the moment we tried to take off poblanos to change something else, people were already hooked on our soup, and so they gave me hell for a week. Why'd you take it off? Well, they're not in season. I see them at the supermarkets, and you can still make it, and so eventually we had so many people that were that upset that we were like, okay, we'll make them. And so we kept it on there. But on the chiles en nogada with the pomegranate and everything, we wanted to showcase it as Mexico's national dish. And I like to tell people that Mexican food is more than what we have here. We have great Mexican food, there's no doubt. But our Mexican food is it's a regional thing,
Mm-hmm.
because if you go down to Mexico City, they're not eating what we're eating up here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go down to Oaxaca, they're definitely not eating what we're eating up here. But it's still Mexican food,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's regional,
Mm-hmm.
like everything else.
Mhm.
And so that dish, I just wanted to show people that there's more to Mexican food
Mhm.
than, you know, just enchiladas and, tacos and stuff.
Mhm.
But, and it became a tradition. So
Mhm.
it's been, we've served it 11 years now. We've done a lot of work with the March of Dimes.
Mhm.
We've done a lot of work with the El Paso Rotary Club, and the events that they held, that they hold. Um, they're an opportunity for us to showcase some of the things that we do, and it gives us an opportunity to educate the public, because we want people to open up their palates and open up, because as you open up your palate, you actually open up your mind, because you're opening it up to a new experience, and so those platforms, serve many purposes. Obviously, you know, gathering money for a charitable cause, but also, educating people and opening people up to, the possibilities that are out there,
Mhm.
with food and everything else. And the community keeps us open. We're essentially a neighborhood, restaurant, grill, bar. Uh, and we have people coming from all over the city, but our neighborhood here is what really, supports us. And so because the community supports us, we want to give back to the community, because without them, we wouldn't be here. So it's important for me to be able to give back and say thanks.